But yeah, I ended up with the dino skin because yeah, I couldn't ka-chow. So that's for sure. There were some fun moments. Like I got to pee on a zombie on the front of Twitch Prime or on the front of Twitch. And I don't think a lot of people get to say that, but this gentleman was the man who invented slime for Nickelodeon. And he goes, "We are going to have you guys bob for bones in cranberry sauce." And I got to hold like Pokemon cards that were worth like over $100,000. And I was like, I love Pokemon, so getting to hold that many Pokemon, that like that much Pokemon cards was pretty incredible. So.
Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. I felt like the intro being just jump straight into it was alright, don't get me wrong, it worked, but I like the little introduction and especially because this week's guest is quite cool. Someone who you may know from very much back in the day, because as of recent content they haven't been around much, which we're going to talk about loads this podcast, and if I'm wrong in any sense they can correct me. However, today I am joined with the amazing RedVacktor.
Thank you so much, Orbitzz, for having me. I'm really looking forward to this. And yeah, it has been a bit since I've uploaded. So I'm interested, to see where this conversation goes. But ready to dig in. So thanks for having me.
No worries. I was just talking about before the podcast, because of hitting record, I have to turn my fan off, so it's a little bit hot in the room right now. But do you know what's really funny as well?
What's up?
So obviously we're recording on a Sunday because we're both busy on the weekdays and we're both in different time zones. However, on the Wednesday when we were meant to be recording, if I recall correctly, the weather was actually really cool, so I wouldn't have been so hot. But
dang it,
it's okay. Everything happens for a reason, and that's why we're recording today instead of Wednesday.
I mean, hey, you know what? You're king for just accommodating me because of my busy schedule, so I appreciate it, and I hope that fan, gives you the cold air you need.
Well, not right. Anyway, it's off now because I don't want it affect my mic.
But yeah, you turned it off. Yeah, but just imagine it's on, okay?
Yeah, no, that's good actually. That'll keep me cool. But no, I mean, with the whole accommodating thing, it's not just like me. I mean, you got to remember that you've kind of taken time out of your Sunday because I couldn't accommodate to working, like doing nighttime for you because you're 7 hours behind me. You said it's 1:30 right now, right? So you're 7 hours behind me.
Correct. It's 1:30.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of works both ways. That I normally record at this time anyways, but normally I do it on a weekday after work as opposed to on a Sunday, which I mean, I still work today because I work with a channel now, which will be talked about later on the podcast at one point on a different one with AJX, includes him. However, anyways, let's get into talking about you specifically. Sorry, I feel like I haven't recorded a podcast in weeks when I recorded one last Monday. It's really strange. I don't know why I feel like this.
No worries.
So to start off with the basic questions then, just to kind of get a sense of who we're talking to. Your name is RedVacktor. Your skin is in the theme of a dinosaur onesie, if I'm correct.
Yes, correct.
What's the idea behind the name then?
So it goes all the way back to like high school. Me and my friend, so I was named Red. It was like a name I had when I played soccer in high school, because of my red hair. Okay. So that kind of stuck. And then my friend's username for Minecraft was Vacktor. And so I was working for a YouTuber at the time, and me and my friend played Minecraft like every day after school. We played it at school. We had iPads at school, so we played on the iPad. And I don't know what came over me, to be honest. I went to him one day and I was just like, hey, what if we just joined up and became like RedVacktor? And so I was Red, he was Vacktor, and we operated like this little Instagram page that we did way back in the day. Like this was like before we jumped to YouTube. Eventually we did YouTube, and then college came, and we kind of went our separate ways. And then I was like, you know what, I want to keep on doing this. And so I kept on being RedVacktor. I used to have like a flash skin. Like if you go on like name MC and look at my old skins, it's like a flash skin. And then my friends were like, you should be like more red. So one of my friends made me this dino skin, and that's kind of like how I ended up there. And yeah, that's how the dino skin came to be in RedVacktor as well.
I must say, I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't keep the theme though. You mentioned how why I can't see the flash skin. The archer fella.
I guess it was like a Star Trek Flash skin, so it doesn't look exactly like the Flash. It's like he's got the yellow captain shirt on, and then he's got the Flash logo in the middle. It's kind of like a hybrid I had going on at the time. It was an interesting theme. I didn't see it with anybody else. All the skins back in the day, and so then I made that jump from there to the dino skin, and then it kind of exploded past that, and then we had like multiple Vactors. I guess like there's still like a blue Vacktor out there today, but yeah, it kind of went from there.
What you're saying is, you were originally the Flash. Someone said you could have been more red. So instead of going to Lightning McQueen, you decided to be a dinosaur.
Yes, Lightning McQueen was probably up there. Okay, like thinking back up to it, like probably was like a top 3 skin choice. But yeah, I ended up with the dino skin because, I couldn't ka-chow. So that's for sure.
You couldn't ka-chow. That's such a good line. I love that. Oh my god, what? I'm stealing that. That's going straight into the highlights, and I'm stealing that. I love that so much. I
appreciate it. I literally just watched Cars the other night. So,
oh my god, I love the movie Cars. Where at one point this year we're going to Disneyland Paris, and we'll see if I keep this in. I'm not going to say when I'm going, just in case. But me and my partner are going to Disneyland Paris, and we're going for one night. And I found a Cars hotel, which is like £250 for a night, and I've decided to go ahead and get it. So we're staying in a Cars themed hotel at Disneyland Paris. I can't wait.
Oh, my wife and I did our honeymoon in Disney World. Go all out. It's worth it. It's so much fun. So I have never been to Paris, so I can't imagine.
It's a bit sticky because I'm not exactly the richest person in the world, and I'm not saying you are either. But obviously, honeymoon is a much different occasion as opposed to just getting away. But we're going on one day. I nearly said the day then, but I really don't want to come close to doxing when it is. We're going on one day. We're going in the morning. We're doing the afternoon there, and then we're staying in a hotel on that night, and then we're going for the entire next day, and then flying home that same night. So I don't know if we're going to get to do the entire thing. After booking the tickets, paying for the hotel, paying for the tickets, and paying for the plane tickets, my girlfriend then decided to turn around and go, I don't think we can do it in one day. So so she waited until everything was purchased to then go, I'm not sure if we can do the entire thing. So I was like, okay, great. So
that's how they get you. That's a slippery slope.
And, how long have you been married?
A little less than a year. We got married in October of I guess last year. Yeah. So for 28th, and it's funny enough, the friend that I started RedVacktor with, he was Vacktor, I guess, right? Is actually her brother. And so we met in high school. So it kind of came full circle. And yeah, so now he's Blue Vacktor. We decided to make it easier to split off into color codes. But married for about a year, almost a year. Pretty excited. It's been everything I wanted.
That's really sweet. Oh, I love that. That's a sort of story. You met your friend. You made a YouTube channel, and then now you're married.
Yeah, it's honestly it's crazy how it all came full circle because we all moved away from like our hometown, and then we all kind of came back together, and it all kind of just like lined up. Like in the middle of COVID, everyone was back home, and we were like, oh hey, let's just get the game back together, and it kind of went from there. So
how many Vactors are there? There's RedVacktor, there's Blue Vacktor. Is that where it ends?
There was more. During COVID, I ran a team called Team Vacktor and Friends, and so at that point there was, remind me, okay, so people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, Red, you forgot somebody, but I think off the top of my head there was like 5 of us. And so I'll name the colors out loud and make sure I don't miss anybody. But it was myself, Blue Vacktor, Purple Vacktor, Yellow Vacktor, Green Vacktor, and oh my gosh, am I missing anybody? I had like a Pink Vacktor at one point too. And then it became like I didn't want. I'll kind of explain myself here, but like we like during COVID, I had came back to YouTube. I had taken a break from YouTube for like about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And then I was everyone was locked in, and I was like, okay, I can do this again. And so got back into it, but then I was like, I really don't want to do this by myself because that's kind of boring. And that's when I went back to Vacktor. I was like, hey, come back, join the group, but you got to come back as Blue Vacktor, and then let's do this together. And so he was like, sign me up, and then we kind of expanded from there. And then I eventually, like, fast forward, like I think a year and a half or 2 years later, I was getting married, work was picking up a lot, and I just couldn't manage the team like the way I wanted to anymore. So we eventually kind of like shut down shop, and Blue Vacktor kept the name, so he's still Blue Vacktor, and then it's just myself and him now. So we kind of expanded, and then it's kind of cool because like when I was running the YouTube channel by myself originally, I had expanded the Vactors into different colors, and like there were characters in my YouTube videos. And then during COVID, they became like actual people that like live streamed and did content. And then now it's just Blue and I, because we're kind of like soft retired, I guess, if that's the way to say it for now.
When you say that work was picking up, so you couldn't really keep up with the YouTube channel, what work is that?
So I work for a company called Portal A. If I say it, fine. Anyone can kind of find that information if they want to. But I'm the senior talent producer there. And if you're familiar with the company, they probably not, but they are. No worries. They're the company that used to do the YouTube rewinds back in the day, and so they're a production company.
Okay.
They also make branded originals, full shop. And I'm the senior talent producer there of gaming and tech. So So my job is casting talent for branded programs. We do TV shows. I really don't work on the TV show or not the TV show, but the original side of things. But I work more so on the branded side of things. And so I've worked with like folks like Cypher PK, Typical Gamer, all tons of Minecrafters and all that fun stuff. It would be a shame to just name one, so I'll just leave it at that. I've worked with a group of them, and I just do activations all the time, and it calls for a lot because it is like producing work, and so I do I have to work with a production team. I've got to work with a design team, a strategy team, and it's a lot more work than just being a YouTuber or streamer. And so sometimes I'll work 11, 10 hours days. I also want to be I want to be happily married, and so I also can't do the YouTube and all that fun stuff at the same time. And so I kind of had to make a call, which is tough for creatives like us to make a choice of picking one or the other. And so I've picked one. I mean, I don't know if I've necessarily picked one or the other, but I picked one for now, and it's been the right call. And so I guess that's why Team Vacktor eventually had to close because of that. I couldn't give them my full attention, and the whole point of the organization when I expanded it was that I wanted to teach creators how to make it and make work in brand deals, how to operate in that space, how to be professional, how to send emails to brands to start work like that, and also how to manage yourself as a creator. So once I couldn't do that anymore, I was like, okay, I gotta let these folks loose and let them be creators on their own, because that's also very important. So, but yeah, that I hope that answers your question. I feel like I kind of went off the rails a little there, but I hope that answers your question.
It's still a good answer. I mean, I have a few questions from it. When you say you're the senior talent producer, right? I've got that word in right.
Yeah.
And not obviously to sound like I'm hinting at something because of the question I'm about to ask, or not to, I guess, hopefully be wrong, but I'm just curious. When you say that, does that mean you do sponsorships, or do you just find people to work with the company?
So the clients come to, so the way that my company works on a client to client basis. And so clients will come to me. My big one right now has been my big one for a couple of years, has been Lenovo Legion. Worked on a lot of projects with them. And so they'll come to us and be like, here's X amount of budget. We want to work with X amount of creators, go do something fun. And so then my job, or our team's job, is then to go off and do something fun. And my job is to go find the fun creators to pick for that program. For example, we did a project for them called Snow Day. And we worked with Dotwave, if you're familiar with him, and we put together a project where it was a whole Minecraft mini game day, and that was put together. Our main talent was I'm going to butcher. Let's see, I don't want to be wrong. I'm looking up their names. So it was Captain Puffy and Bad Boy Halo, and they were our team captains. And then we had a group of I think other 6 to 10 other creators that were on each of their teams, and we did a big event. And then we had the Lenovo laptop in Minecraft, and my whole job was really to just bring in the talent and secure everybody for that program. Dotwave was also really helpful. Jordan really helped us out with it.
So you managed okay, so we've been given this amount of money, we have to promote this with this. You managed who's going to promote it kind of idea.
Exactly. And then I take them from start to finish. So I'll do the contracting, I'll work with the agents, I'll work with the reps, and do the onboarding and all that fun stuff, and then work with them to make sure that they get everything done and make sure everyone's happy. So yeah, that's my job.
That sounds really cool. What? So
yeah,
when did you take this job on then? Was this during COVID? Was it before COVID? Because I remember obviously you did it at some point while you were still a creator, because you had to pick and choose. But when was that?
Or as you just opened up the can of worms, okay? So at the beginning of COVID, I had moved back home with my family. I was working for this creator, didn't go the way I wanted it to, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go move back home with my parents. And then I moved back home with my parents, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love my parents, but I hate living with my parents. And so I don't know what overcame me, but I went into overdrive, and so I started doing YouTube. As I told you, that's when I started the Team Vacktor stuff, the initiative again. And then an old colleague called me. He works at YouTube, and he calls me and he goes, "Hey, this company is looking for somebody that knows gaming. I want you to interview." So then I interviewed. But at the same time, while I was doing that, I was doing the Team Vacktor stuff, and Amazon had called me and was like, "Hey, we want you to be on a TV show." And I was like, "You joking, right?" And then they were willing to pay an undisclosed amount of money, have me do a group of TV shows throughout the whole year on Amazon Prime. And so work then calls me back a month later and goes, "We want you to work for us as a talent producer." I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I say yes. Why not? I started as a talent producer in the middle of COVID. I do this TV show that's on the front page of Twitch, on the front page of Amazon Prime. And then stupidly, I also agreed to start coaching Fortnite at my old high school. And so I'm doing all three of these at the same time. Like an idiot, okay, like an idiot. My wife like jokes all the time. She's like the man of many jobs. And so I was working contract for as a talent producer, doing the show at the same time, doing the YouTube all at the same time, doing all that fun jazz. It all eventually paid off. Bought my house in Texas, moved away from my parents, and then I went all in as a talent producer. So that kind of gives you the timeline. I've been with them for about 4 years now, and so a lot has happened in that 4 years. But it took a lot to get to where I'm at right now. But I was really lucky that my friend really reached out to me and was like, "Hey, interview there." Because then I interviewed, and then the person I interviewed had done a brand deal with like 3 years prior. She was like, "You remember me?" And then I didn't initially remember her, but then I like looked at the email and remembered it all, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy! What a small world!" And that's kind of how it all came together. And that's where I'm at now.
Ah, there we go. Can I take a second to kind of talk about what I'm doing right now in regards to like work in quotation marks?
Yeah, of course. Fill us in.
I don't want to make the podcast about me. I guess it's just the perfect time to be recording the podcast, and you'll see why.
Your podcast, you know?
Yeah, no, of course. And every single person says this, but I just have this mentality of I know it's my podcast, but it's about you. So there's that kind of idea. So when you said about the joke, the joke there of a man of many jobs. So right now, and when he got announced, someone called Christy, I believe their name was Christy, I hope it was, or Christina, someone was one of the two. I'm sorry if you're listening to this, I got your name wrong. They replied underneath it, do you ever sleep? So for context, I'm not really much of a sleeper. I don't have insomnia, I just don't like sleeping. So I get like maybe 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. Other than weekends, I sleep for about 8 or 9 hours, but during the weekdays, I sleep very, very little. And so right now I've got the podcast. Obviously I manage the guests, I manage the uploads, I manage the promotion. I record 2 podcasts a week, edit them, upload them 2 podcasts a week. I've now started a blog, which talks about Minecraft events, and hopefully moving into other areas. Hopefully going to get a team working on that. So it should be announced sometime after this. Don't think it'd be announced before this. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's going to be the weekend after this podcast. So if you're listening, there you go. Hint hint. I now work for a channel called All Things MCC, which I uploaded the first one today, and it's really cool that this podcast is afterwards because I didn't get invited to it until Friday or Thursday, one of the two. So I would have recorded the podcast and then it would have happened. So it's just cool to bring up, like with you, especially of you talking about how much you do. I then cast tournaments. I manage something else, and then I work a full-time barista job. So there's a lot I'm doing right now. Don't really know how I balance it all. Would love to be doing content creation full time. So that's the goal. But yeah, it's just that's kind of my me building my CV right now. But what's lucky is my partner's really understanding of the fact that like where we live, we've kind of already done it all. And in regards to working and getting money, she's very happy for me to just kind of grind out. We've been together for like 2.5 years now, so she's very happy for me to kind of lock in, get a decent amount of like experience, a decent amount of money, all this kind of stuff. If I'm not saying it's paying well, but by not going out, we're saving money in a sense, and to spend on other things. But she's very understanding, which is nice. So in like a year or 2, if I can settle down and maybe make content full time, then we can start going out and doing some more stuff together. That's nice.
I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, and it sounds like you're gonna go enjoy Disney Paris too, right? Soon. So it sounds like it's working out. I mean, that's like the big thing, right? Like finding someone that's supportive and being able to run with your dreams. I mean, I love the sound of that.
I make it up to her as well. Obviously, like you said, the whole Disneyland thing. Like, we're going on a surprise holiday in September. Then we've got the Disneyland at one point this year. We're doing other little holidays every now and then. I said, like, if we go to a different country one time a month, and then all the other weekends you let me just do work, that way then we can save money. And there's not much to do. Like, I live in London. We've done London. There's nothing else to do here really. But we're gonna sway out. We're gonna figure it out. So
hey, I mean, honestly, that's a great mentality. I mean, I'm assuming you're much younger than I am, so like keep it up. That's all I gotta say. Because like
I'm 21 years
21,
old.
yeah. I wish I had the mentality you had when I was 21, because I'd probably be in a much different place. But no, it sounds like you got your head on your shoulders, so that's good. That's good.
I've become a bit of a workaholic. I think just like I'm doing, like I said before calling this, I sat down for 6 hours with my editing app on like 30% breaking, like just not giving me the best times, editing. I've come and recorded this now with you. Once this is done, I'm gonna go start writing the blog to come out on Tuesday. Then I gotta get this edited for Tuesday night. So I don't really know where it comes from. I don't really know how I find the time or how I find the motivation to not get burnt out, because I've been burnt out like 3 or 4 times, but I keep fighting through it, which is really strange. I said it to a lot of people. I said I don't really understand how I'm able to do this, but I enjoy it. So, it works out.
Hey, you know what? That's all about, right? I forget what the saying is, but you find a job you love, you never work another day in your life. So, actually, I think I nailed that. I think I nailed that
I
saying.
think you
So,
did, yeah.
I think I did. So, yeah, you know, that's great to hear.
With the was it a TV show? It was a TV show you said, yeah, with Amazon.
Yeah.
What was that called?
So that was called Chase to the Crown. It was pretty neat. It was actually like really intense. To be honest, like, it was like produced by the folks that like one of the producers worked on like American Idol. It was shot studio. Well, it was remote shoots. Like everything was shot at my house. But it was like with a studio that was like on the Sony lot, and they picked. It was like a show where three coaches were paired up with three Twitch talent, and then there was like there was a group of other Twitch talent, like 30 plus Twitch talent that went through the process and didn't get picked, and then I made it to the end and went through the show like the full. Actually, did 2 seasons of that show with them, and then I did a couple of other like smaller shows with them. Like one was called Click Sport. There was another one. What was the other one? They were kind of like wacky shows, but they were cool. And to be like thanks to them, I was able to buy my house. To be honest, as I told you, the timeline I went quickly from living with my parents to owning my own home, and it was really mostly because of that TV show. So that went really well. And then I did that for about I did on and off TV shows with them for about a year and a half, and then work started to pick up a lot, and so I played hardball with them a little bit, and I negotiated with them. I was like, because like at one point I was like, pay me for the whole year, like secure me enough shows to pay me for a whole year's worth of work, and I'll quit my job, and I'll keep on doing TV shows with you. Or if you guys can't do that, then I'm going to do my job. And so, and like I was like, match this, and we'll be fine. And eventually, they were like, no, we can't do that, unfortunately. And so I was like, it's okay, like this is the better decision for both of us. And so I eventually backed out from doing the TV shows and like to do the talent producing stuff. That was a big decision because like everyone kind of wants to be on a show, right? Or at least not everybody, but a lot of folks want to be on a TV show, and like they were offering me the world. They were like, like we want to do a TV show with you as the lead and everything. But I just found that the value of it wasn't going to be what I wanted because like the work, 401k, health insurance, all that fun stuff, and like I get to talent produce, I get to work with some of the coolest talent in the world. Even outside of gaming and tech, like we work with like crazy people at work, and it was just a lot for me to kind of like have to put myself aside. So it was a tough decision, but that kind of like explains that whole Twitch Amazon Prime arc I had there.
You deserve it 100%. I mean,
Appreciate it.
I know you. Obviously, when I was younger, I didn't really watch too much YouTube, and when I did watch YouTube, I didn't know who I was watching. I just watched content. So I know. Obviously, looking back and now seeing this video videos, and you're 100% deserving of it. But how comes they chose you?
Well, to be honest, okay, so now as a producer, so ready to I'm gonna flip it on you, and I'm gonna give it the talent producer POV.
Mm-hmm.
I was very affordable on the fact that I had came off of a break from YouTube. So imagine you're casting for a TV show and you're looking at Twitch streamers. There's nothing wrong with like looking at Twitch streamers. Twitch streamers are great. They're great creators overall, but their following sizes vary so much more than for like say you're looking at a YouTuber who got a YouTube channel. Then that YouTuber comes to Twitch, then they gain another following. Most Twitch streamers are just like Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, like agnostic. Yeah. YouTubers like naturally kind of have like a wider set of platforms. And so I'm assuming that when they looked at me, minus the personality, minus me being good on camera, like being able to like doing hosting work and all that fun stuff, they were also getting a better package of like they needed me to do socials for the TV show. Okay, cool. This red kid has, at the time I had like a 600K following. That makes me like 10 times more valuable than the streamer who may have similar views to me, but then only has like 10, 15,000 followers. So I think that's what naturally pushed me to the top of the pack. But then I think they got the combo of like they actually had a creator that could actually do camera work. Like I've done improv, I've done camera work, I've done skits, and so that was cool. And then I was remote. I had a full computer setup. I could do everything they needed from me for this show, which was very, very technical. And I think also on top of that, I was in LA at the time. And so studio's in Los Angeles. So I really had everything working in my favor. And so like you should have seen some of the other contestants. Like these other contestants were great creators, like great creators across the board. Even like I would say like across the board, like I was really impressed with like all the other folks, and like some of them were really really good at the games as well. And I really think that just kind of pushed me to the top of the pack. I think at the time, if you had asked me that question, I probably wouldn't have admitted it like that. But like now, like letting it like simmer after a couple of years and like looking back at it, it makes sense that that's kind of why they chose me over some other folks. But maybe it's something else. I don't know. I'm not the casting director for that. So
So were you a contestant or were you the host?
I was a contestant for season 1 and then a coach for season 2. So I coached a streamer.
Oh, you were the host this entire time. I just told myself you was the host. That's why. Okay, it makes a little bit more sense now as to why you were chosen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it varied because like I did different roles for them. So like contestant, hosting, coaching. They kind of like threw me all across the board. There were some fun moments. Like I got to pee on a zombie on the front of Twitch Prime or on the front of Twitch, and I don't think a lot of people get to say that, but and the Amazon folks thought that was hilarious. So that was really cool.
You've pissed on a zombie.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give you the context because it's just better without the context.
No,
but I got
the context. Please don't.
To say that like on their front page of like Amazon and Twitch, it was fun. I thought I was gonna get in a little trouble, but it was a good time.
So when you said about the whole being able to answer it better, now I have like a question that's irrelevant to this show. It's relevant to your answer, but relevant to the way you said it. You'll see what I mean. Since being in your role, right? And obviously from being in your role for so long. And I feel like the answer is very obvious, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Do you feel like your way of talking to people and like what you say to people and like I guess PR and stuff has improved a lot, some or not so much?
Like my ability to like talk on camera and stuff.
Your ability to talk to anyone. I mean, you're a YouTuber, so talking on camera is easy. But like with me, I feel like with the podcast and with I forgot to mention earlier that like I'm a player manager for a tournament. With all of this, I've learned how to talk to people without like being rude or like because I was when I was maybe 3 years ago, like, when I was 18, I'm still a very straightforward person, but I used to just say what was on my mind. And over the years, from growing up and from doing what I do, I've learned how to kind of talk to people and interact with people a lot better as time's going on because of the roles that I have.
Yeah, no, I would 100% agree with you. I think like this path I've been on has very much made me a more outgoing person. Like in high school, I definitely wasn't an outgoing person. I was a quiet person. I think even like when my family like brought us to like family things, I was a quiet person. And like it sounds so stupid, but yeah, I think live streaming is what really increased it the most because it was like I had to get used to filling in the gaps. Like the thing when we did YouTube videos was like, we talk and we talk with like the collabs and whatnot, but it would always be like we have to cover the dead space. Then when you live stream and you're out live for like 2+ hours, you're like really just gotta keep it going and like interact with people, engage with people. And if you don't do that, then you can't be a successful creator or a successful streamer or whatever, right? And so yeah, to answer your question, I do think it definitely increased my ability to engage and interact with people. Like pre-YouTube me, you probably couldn't get me to like do any of this 100%.
What are kind of looping back around to Team Vacktor here? What are some of your favorite moments or favorite memories from Team Vacktor?
So I think first of all, the announcements. It was always really cool to announce new Vectors and see folks like get super excited for them, and then like their communities would eventually like merge into our communities. Because as I mentioned at the beginning, I took like a lot of like much smaller creators, like in the couple hundreds, maybe a couple thousand followers. And we have them go through a whole rebrand. Like they changed their names from like what they were before to green Vacktor, yellow Vacktor, etc. And then they would join the team, and like it was a really cool like merging of communities. And on top of that, I think during the show there was like a moment where like with me like it became a contest. So like there was like during the like Chasing the Crown season 1, there was like a moment where there has like a battle of engagement amongst the 3 contestants, and so my war cry really was like Team Vacktor. And so like the whole group, like all of them really came together and they really supported like the whole group through that, like all the episodes. And so like Purple Vacktor would show up to the Chasing the Crown episode streams and be like, let's go Red. Blue would show up. And so like it was just really cool.
Cool
to just see that the support. And so like that was really neat. We ended up getting second place, but like, and I was a little bummed about that, but like overall, like it was just really cool to just see everybody like come together like that. And I think that was really cool because like I guess when I started the team, I didn't necessarily expect it to get to that point. And yeah, the saddest day was definitely breaking up the team just because like I said I wasn't giving them what they needed, and so there was no point for the team to then at that point exist. At least that's the way I saw it.
What about while being on the show? What are some of your favorite or like funny memories other than obviously pissing on a zombie from the show?
So there was a lot of cool things. I got to what do you call it? I'm just gonna look up his name because I'm so bad with names. Orbitzz, like so bad with names. But I got to interview Robert Kirkman, the creator of Invincibles and The Walking Dead.
Cool.
And that was cool because it was I got to interview him alongside, oh my goodness, is his name? Oh, the gentleman from he was in Fantastic Beasts and he was also in The Walking Dead. His name is escaping me. Dan Folger.
Yeah, so do you wanna know what my thing is, right? Do you wanna learn how I do it? So there's very little actors I know their names. Big fan of The Walking Dead show. The only names I can remember of the characters is Daryl Dixon, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and wait, no, his own Daryl. Yeah, no, his name's not even. It's Norman Reedus. His name is Norman Reedus. See, exactly. Norman Reedus, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Andrew. I don't think it's Lincoln or something. Like I remember people by their like names in shows or movies as opposed to their actual actors' names. So if I ever saw one walking down the street, I'd be like, "Oh my god, you're Rick Grimes." Obviously, I know his names, but like, "Oh my god, you're Rick Grimes," and they'd be like, "Hi," because that's definitely their name.
Yeah, no, I 100% like I'm so bad with names. I'd probably walk up to I don't even know, call them by their actor's name. Robert Downey Jr. though, I'll probably call him Iron Man. but yeah,
Tony
no, that interview was the coolest thing because like I had the little folks in my ear telling me like don't talk about that, talk about this, and I'm like okay, you know, and it was like truly like hosting work, and then just being on the TV shows was really cool, and playing the games. I had to like get really good at Apex over this. You don't understand. Like I went into like sent me into like Apex boot camp,
Oh my god,
because like started and I couldn't play at all, and then they were like you need to be good enough for this to be interesting, and then I like ranked it out to 11, got to like I got decent. I'm not saying I was great, I got decent enough for the streams, and so it worked. And then there was like a lot of gags that we had to do in person because like we couldn't, because of COVID we couldn't shoot this all set, so they would send us things at home to set up, and so they sent us like this box. Okay, what I'm about to explain is super disgusting. Okay, but they sent us this box. Okay, with a warning. And it was like shaped like a monster box. Like I can't even explain it to you, right? And they sent us 3 giant jars of cranberry sauce. Okay, and then I get on the, and then they, oh yeah, and then they get me on a call with the game producer, which I didn't know was a real. Right. Cranberry honestly was pretty good. And they get us on the call with the game producer, which I had never heard of. Apparently this is a real role in Hollywood. They're the producers that set up the challenges in reality TV shows. And this gentleman was the man who invented slime for Nickelodeon. And he goes, we are going to have you guys bob for bones in cranberry sauce. And because we were doing a thing with like Doom that was supposed to be metal, you know what I'm saying? So there we are on the front page of Twitch with my hands tied behind my back. And I'm like bobbing my face into just cranberry sauce, looking for like gummy bones to take out. It was embarrassing, but it was pretty fun. But my mom was a little mad because I got a little cranberry sauce on the white carpet. But you know, it's fine.
Over, I guess to jump, unless you had anything more to say about the show, I feel like we should talk about your old YouTube content in a sense.
Of course, let's do it.
So one of my major questions, and I mean we've already answered it, so I just wanted to say that I had it as a question was why did you quit? But we've covered that like slowly over the podcast. But I guess to put it in one thing here, because I feel like we've touched on it in little parts throughout. What is the main reason? Just to kind of put it in case anyone has timestamped this part and missed out. I have timestamps, so some people might skip over parts they don't want to listen to. So if they care about the YouTube channel specifically, why did you stop making YouTube content in a brief thing here?
I think, you know, it's funny enough. It's going to be a very long and convoluted answer. Okay, I know you asked for a short one. I think I've fallen off.
Fine.
Long's fine. I've fallen off the horse creatively because I've just got so much I have to take care of that stress of taking care of it doesn't allow me to be good anymore. If that makes sense. Like, you know, I've got the house, I got my 3 dogs, my wife, cars. You know, like I've got to take care of a certain amount of things, and so the risk of being creative, I think, kind of spooks me. And I know that's probably not the answer everyone was like, oh, this is what Red's gonna give me. But no, I went and talked to a friend yesterday. He was the guy that got me into YouTube, and funny enough, he hasn't uploaded in 7 years, right? So I went and talked to him yesterday, and it was just like a conversation of like how the space has just changed so quickly that it's easy to fall off the horse and not want to get back on. But like eventually, I think I will get back on. It's just like right now, there's just a lot going on, and it's just not the right time for me to do it. But there will be a time, I think. I just don't think it's right now.
So we could see a return one day.
Yeah, it could. You know what I'm saying? I could come back as Doctor Doom. You don't know.
Okay. How do you feel about that, actually? Just really off topic here. How do you feel about that reveal?
I thought it was interesting because like I love Comic-Con. I've gone to San Diego Comic-Con. What a obscure location to make that announcement with him. I don't want any spoilers. I don't know. What do you think? But I just think it's such an obscure location to announce that. Like it's a big location, and I don't know. I feel like they should have saved that for the big screen to do that, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe they thought it was too big to hide.
Imagine it was a bait and switch, and he's actually not coming back, and he just wanted to see how people would react.
That would have been fun. A little temperature reading. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm not betting against Disney. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The Deadpool movie was pretty good, so
I haven't seen it yet. I'm not watching it till next weekend. Sorry.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Sorry.
We're not betting against the mouse. That's all I'm saying, Orbitzz. Okay, so that's all we're saying.
But you might have just like become part of the meme majority of, oh my god, Marvel is dead. Oh my god, Marvel is back. Oh my god, Marvel is dead. Oh my god, Marvel is back. I think like unironically, I think you've falling into that. I know without you saying it's dead. I know you haven't said it's dead. But the funny bit of like I wouldn't bet against them because of this movie is like that falls so under that category.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in an abusive relationship with the Marvel universe, 100%.
What are your back into the YouTube content now? If you were to ever return, obviously the scene has changed so much since you started making content. Obviously there's a lot of people who are around at the same time as you. I've had a few of them on the podcast, like Right Guy Rocky, Captain Sparkles, absolutely amazing creators like yourself. But you know, I guess they've done a good job of adapting with the times and staying with the times, as in they've never taken a break. They're still here. If you were to make a return, and kind of to put you on the spot here, what would you come back with?
So that is the question. I think if I had the answer to that, I'd be back tomorrow. But my issue is I love Minecraft, right? Okay. So I want to start with that. Love Minecraft. I do not want to be a Minecraft creator. And the reason is because like I just can't do it forever. And I think I've gotten beyond that point of me doing it. Not saying that like other folks can't do it, like Captain Sparkles, White Guy Rocky, and there's plenty of others out there, right, that we can name. And it takes a special person to be able to do things like that. And I just don't think I'm that special person to do it, if that makes sense. And so it's like if I come back with something else, like for example, it's all hidden now so you couldn't see it, but like at one point I tried coming back with car content. Quickly figured out that is also not for me, Orbitzz. And so I don't know. I don't want to do variety because I also have like a critical understanding of how YouTube works, and I understand that variety is not the way to do it. And I'm like such a analytical person when it comes to YouTube as well, that like I can't just do YouTube for fun, which is like a critical requirement to like being able to do this for like a long time. Like you got to be able to have fun, and sometimes it's not fun when you're like so much into the weeds of it, and like I quickly go down that rabbit hole. But I don't know. I play a lot of Call of Duty. I don't want to do Call of Duty YouTube though. So the answer is I don't know. That's your answer.
I'm gonna say something, and I guess I just want to get your thoughts on it. I feel like with you, obviously you're in such a good position with your job and stuff, and you seem to be very, very happy with everything that's happened in your life. I think if you was to come back to YouTube, it would have to be because of passion. I think especially after taking a 4-year break, obviously it depends if you come back with the best video in the world. I mean, your video literally 2 years after your convention thing did absolutely amazing. But I think, or like that being your most recent video for the listeners here, I think you'd have to come back based on passion as opposed to it doing well for numbers. I don't know if you disagree. 100%. Feel free to say so. Oh, yeah, okay, you agree. That's good. I didn't want to come off as offensive, so I was being very careful how I worded it. I didn't want to be rude. But yeah, so
no, that's why I haven't come back. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, I'm so analytical that I don't enjoy it, and so like it would have to be something that I truly enjoyed. Like I tried doing like a Lego channel. I didn't tell anybody about this. You're like the second person I told, okay? So this is like a thing.
I
But
know everyone's gonna hear about it.
oh right. Oh no.
I can mute it.
But,
I
like,
can mute the chat. I can mute the channel thing.
No, it's okay. You can keep it in because I'm not gonna name it. But
Okay.
I like started a Lego channel that I wanted to do, and it was like Lego Fortnite, and I kind of just tried it as like a sample. It was good. It was good because I didn't tell anybody else I did it, and it was getting like a couple thousand views a video, which was like decent for what I was trying to do, but. It eventually became like I didn't really want to edit videos, and I was like, okay, all right. So like, clearly the passion's not there, and so that's why I hit the brakes on that again. And so yeah, I 100% agree with you. The passion has to be there. I just have this lovely analytical quirk. Makes it hard for me to find something easy to enjoy. If that makes sense. But I agree with you.
Would you enjoy making roleplay content?
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I did like a series. Oh, now. I don't know. I don't think so. My one of my good friends is he's thinking about doing like a comeback to that stuff. It takes a lot. And I mean, shout out to like the creators that do it right. But when you're not doing it right, like I feel like a lot of folks are involved that aren't. I mean, they're involved for good reasons, but like a lot of people get taken advantage of, like in like role play budget wise, if that makes sense. But like when you get to like the big creators, like it kind of makes more sense. And so it takes a lot to do it without taking advantage of folks. Like that's what would sway me away from it. And then I just don't think that the stories I want to tell would make sense for role play. I think I kind of want to tell like an actual on-camera story. That's what I've been trying to shoot for. I've been trying to make an original TV show these last few years, but takes one day at a time. But I don't mean any disrespect to anybody doing role plays. I want to say that, okay? It's just that everyone knows that, like, you just got, it's like, there's like this hump you have to get over because, like, role plays, like, you can't do a role play with just like 1-2 people, right? It takes like 8 people. Sometimes it takes more people, yada, yada, yada. So you get me.
With role play content, and it's why I asked, and that's why I didn't mean to cut you off there either, so sorry about that.
No.
But when you said about you used to love to do it, obviously, that's why I specified now, because you have to do that kind of content because it's so long-winded and you have to put on this act, and like the majority of roleplay channels, they put on a bit of like a more childlike act because that's what the idea is with Minecraft, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with me personally, I just don't think I could ever do that because I feel like I'd be very tired. When talking on the podcast like I'm now, sometimes if I don't want to come off as, and I told you too early, I didn't want to offend you by saying it in the wrong way, I kind of word it differently. But I just talk in my own sense. I've yapped so much today because I haven't talked to anyone for the last 6 hours because I've been too busy editing, so you get the full like Orbitzz yap. But
I love it.
Like, and that's why I love the podcast, and it's so easy to manage because I love it so much because I love talking, and I love the difference of talking to you and then talking to someone, because I'm recording one tomorrow, talking to someone different tomorrow, and it's like, it's so nice hearing the different perspectives and hearing why you did this and why they do that and why you used to love it and you don't love it anymore kind of idea. But yeah. I completely agree with the whole roleplay thing. It's tough, and you have to make sure you're being fair to people you have involved. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of people, I think, like you said, take advantage. I'm not saying any of the bigger creators or anyone in specific here. I'm just saying I've seen like a lot of like, I mean, it's happened to me before with editors. I've asked someone to edit a video for me, and they knew that I was in like a really tough spot, and they went, yeah, it's this much. I'm like, but we're friends, and they're like, I don't care. Okay, I understand that you've got a job to do, but you know, you could have at least turned around and be like, yeah, no, this isn't worth it for you, and it wasn't worth it for me. But that's the idea there.
When I was doing it, I had worked, so take even a further step to take you to the mysterious past of me. When I worked for this one company that owned my channel, I did the role plays, but that was different because like I had a company of like 25, 30 people. So like, I actually had people in house who I'd be like, all right, let's get this role play done. We got our shot list, all that fun stuff. We do all these shots, the VO in the VO room, and get it done. And then shortly after, like I worked for that company for like 2.5 years, and then when I left, we were like, Red, where's your role plays? And I'm like, well, I don't got a company of 30 people that can help me with my role plays. So you get Let's Plays from Red, okay? So that was like a big change for everybody. But yeah, that kind of gives you like the context for me on role plays and stuff like that, because I want to do it right, you know. And I don't want to not do it right.
Exactly. With some of your older videos, then we'll go back to your oldest, starting with the Minecraft Mario hide and seek. You did a good few hide and seeks in your time in school. You did a football video. What the heck? Yeah. So when you started up YouTube 8 years ago, what was the idea behind the videos you were making? Why did you decide to start off with, I guess, let's just say the first 8 videos that you started off with?
So before we dive into that, Orbitzz, let me take you further back, okay? Because that is my oldest video still public.
Yeah,
but
I imagine there's a few private part videos.
My videos go back until like 2013, so what, a little bit more over 11 years now. But this is like the 8-year one you're looking at. That Mario hide and seek is what I kind of went and I locked it in. I was like, let's take this, for serial. Let's do this super serious and let's get it right. So I deleted everything, well, in the private, everything prior, and we put all the branding into this red guy. This is the point where I switched from the flash skin. And funny enough, at this point, we had told people to subscribe to my channel before the Mario video went live. And we had like 150,000 subscribers before my first video went live. And then the video went live and then it popped off. And then kind of from there, for at least like the first year and a half, the channel did pretty well. But the original video was actually my friend SGC Barbarian. He's in that initial video. He did a lot of these hide and seek maps at the time. And so he was like, I got you for your first video. And he actually fast forward the wedding. He was my best man at the wedding. So it kind of shows you how my small world is. But yeah, that kind of gives you like the some context on like my first video. But yeah, it was a pretty cool time. It was a little scary because I wasn't sure how people were going to react to my first video, but watched a little bit of it. It's actually a pretty good video, to be honest, even for today's standards. So
and then why, like, I guess with these videos, then why did they stay public to flip it?
To flip it, at this point, this is where like everybody started watching my content, and so this is where I like had the most amount of eyes on my stuff. And so I didn't necessarily ever want to privatize these because this is what people enjoyed. And so like I still get tweets from like folks who are like not so much anymore, but like there used to be tweets like, what happened to this one video? I love going back and watching it. Because at one point I had privatized everything and had like my car videos up that eventually flopped because like I did like 2 of those and I was like, okay, never mind. And so I put all these back up and I just was like, you know what, screw it. They're live. I'd make like nothing from these. I think I made like I think I finally stopped getting checks from uploading maybe like a year and a half ago.
Oh jeez.
But yeah, like I mean they weren't big checks, but like like eventually like it kind of like drained from there. But yeah, like, and that wasn't like the purpose of putting them back up. It was just to put them back up for the hell of it. I don't even think the channel's monetized anymore, to be honest. Orbitzz, I don't even look at the back end. So but I just know that those videos are the ones that are still live. So
I used to do command block tutorials. That's when I started off my content, and I say this all the time. I was earning for my standards at the time. I was earning money. Like, I was putting like £400 a month compared to now, and it's like I sometimes wonder if I should have just kept the videos up because it's good passive like triple-digit income every single month. Especially with the game constantly changing, people are always searching up command block tutorials even if they don't work anymore, and then watching them through, finding out they don't work, and I still get the revenue. But I decided to unlist the videos because I didn't want to kind of beat that legacy, and I wanted to move into more commentary videos. And then now Insane Orbitzz channel is dead, gets £20 a month maybe, if that. And the InsideMC's full focus, which also doesn't really get much money, but it's passion and I enjoy it, so it works out.
You know what? And sometimes, as we said earlier, the passion's worth it, worth more than the outcome. So I hear you.
You did some IRL videos. There's actually the ignoring the VR videos that you did 8 years ago. You did I guess these are 7 years ago, so we kind of actually same thing. But you did a lot of IRL like hide and seeks. You did more popular ones being Five Nights at Freddy's hide and seek.
Yeah.
Where? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask such a random question, but to kickstart, if you remember, where did you get the costumes from?
Oh, from Party City across the street from our studio.
Oh crap, you actually remember, what? Yeah.
Like, across the street from the studio, there was a Party City. We were their best customers. And
is it the same studio you're in now?
No. This was up in Seattle. I'm in Texas now. But yeah, this was when I was working for the studio that owned my channel for a little bit. When I joined the company, it was like a part of the thing. I sold my channel to the company so that I would then be the talent for them and then my payroll, all that fun jazz. Very interesting way of being a creator. I would highly recommend against it for anyone never listened. But yeah, it was really cool. Like the hide and seek videos were neat. The cool thing about it though was that like I had a full like production company, and so like there was like 5 people dedicated to these IRL videos, these Five Nights at Freddy's, like creating them, editing them, shooting them, and all that fun stuff. But they are definitely my most embarrassing videos, Orbitzz. So I'm so glad we get to talk about it. But they are 100% my most embarrassing videos, but they are somehow my most well-performing videos, which is why you can see on my channel that I did multiple of them. So when that's quickly I think when the passion started burning out. I was right about there.
That was 7 years ago. You still uploaded like, I guess actually no, yeah, you did stop like 6 years ago. Oh
It's
god,
sputtered.
yeah.
It sputtered from there, you know.
No,
And
yeah,
that might have been it.
Because obviously you uploaded that video 4 years ago, but I keep forgetting that was one video as opposed to 6, and then the rest 7 years ago. So yeah, it was already really long while ago.
There was a little bit of a jump there, and yeah, because like that was the studio I was working at quickly closed their doors like right after that Five Nights at Freddy video that you're looking at, and so like that's when there's like there then is a break, and my videos then come back. And then
was it because of the video that they closed their doors?
No.
I know.
That's a longer story, but I probably actually no. I got told without going too much into it. I actually got told that I was taking too many resources to film those videos. But they were my best performing videos, so I was like, eat rock.
Yeah,
so
makes sense. What?
Anyway.
Since your most embarrassing videos, we're gonna carry on speaking about them. What
Always,
were some of your favorite hiding spots?
Okay, so I'm about to like blow your mind, but it was actually kind of screwed up. Okay, but it's actually too funny because we just didn't tell them. So one of the actors, her name was Morgan, and the other one was my friend Preston, and we were like, okay, count to 100, and we're gonna go hide, and started counting to 100, and we went out to the parking lot, got in the car, and we went to McDonald's and ate and filmed us eating at McDonald's, and she's like, guys, I can't find them, and she looked for us for like maybe like 30 minutes, and then we came back and we were like, so did you find us? And she was like, where have you guys been? And so the first half of the video is just us going to the drive-through McDonald's. We're like in our outfits and everything. It was probably my most. I don't know what. Like I literally was just like, hey, like we didn't plan it before. I was just like, I looked at my friend and I was just like, you want to go to McDonald's and we'll just take your car? And he was like, sure, let's go. And so we put the cameraman jumped in the back seat and we went to McDonald's.
So they were sitting. I'm guessing the videos were role play. Like they were part role play, part scripted in a sense. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But if I'm not wrong, say stayed in like the role play and you just decided, was like, yeah, let's just go get food.
Okay, I'll be honest, the people and me, everyone involved did not really like doing them. Okay, so they were not scripted one bit. We were literally like, put these outfits on, and let's let it rip. My one friend who was Chica in the second most popular video, he was like, I hate this. The suits are sweaty. And I was just like, hey man, 15 minutes, we'll record this, done. Everything will be fine. Because speaking of crazy schedules, at that time, we were shooting like 10 to 15 videos a day. We had like a block shooting schedule, and so like we would have to like shoot for 7 hours, and then at the end of the day would be this Five Nights at Freddy's hide and seek production where you got to get into these suits that have like they were hot and steamy. That's I guess that's where I'll leave it.
Fair enough. So what on the other hand then of videos, instead of videos that you didn't enjoy, what are some videos you did enjoy over the years of making content?
Ooh, that's a fun one. I think the VR Minecraft stuff was pretty fun. Like, I got a little sick, I'll be honest, like the VR sickness, but like it wasn't so bad on the Vive. But the VR maps were really cool because like we took like old maps, like revisited them in VR, and they were like almost like it was like the whole archive of content had kind of been rediscovered. And then I think the car video I tried doing, but necessarily like kind of fell apart on. That was probably like one of the coolest videos I've ever shot. And then I really like not the hide and seek stuff, but the Nerf hostage stuff we did. We did like a lot of Nerf videos, where it was like SWAT versus X or like whatever. I
remember those. Yeah.
And I thought those were cool because like they were kind of like less cringe than the hide and seeks. And so I like doing those, but those didn't necessarily pop off as much as the hide and seek stuff. I was like on the cusp of being like very Team Edge, if you're familiar with Team Edge. I was like, if I had gone like maybe like 2 more inches to the right, my content would have been more like Team Edge, but I was like in the cringe zone. I was almost there, but I was in the cringe zone. So but overall, I mean, there was some pretty fun things in between. I'm trying to think what another really fun one was. There's got to be a breakout. There was another channel we used to do called Office Antic. I was the head of that for a little bit. And we did like more like challenge based videos. Those were fun. I think the improv stuff was fun. My favorite video was also kind of embarrassing. So you like that? We did a video where it was an ad for Qdoba. I don't know if you guys have Qdoba over across the pond, but
maybe we do, but I've never heard of it. We do, so
it's like
Qdoba?
Chipotle.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like,
I don't think we do then.
So they were like, hey, we're doing a campaign where there's gonna be extra guac, and I was like, no way, we're gonna pay you guys a lot of money. And I was like, no way. And so we signed to do this brand deal without really reading what we had to do. And so the creative was send us out into the streets with sombreros and ponchos, tell everybody that there was free guac at Qdoba. And so me and my friend walked through the streets of Seattle telling everybody that there was free guac. And I sat down next to this gentleman, and it was very like street, like, you know, like street shooting. Like no one, we didn't have any paperwork. We were just running around doing things. And I sat next to this guy, and the guy like turns his head, looks at me, and he goes, "What's up?" I'm like, "Nothing much." And he's like, "Okay." I'm like, "You like guac?" He goes, "Nope." I'm like, "Dang." And I was like, "There's all this free guac at at Qdoba," and I just get up and walk away. And it was like the fun. I don't know. It was like something out of SNL. It was just like probably my I don't know. That's where I peaked right then and there, sitting next to this gentleman. But that was probably like, I don't know, one of my most memorable moments out in the streets. Telling folks about free guac. Yeah, exactly.
Who is the master of Moovodoo?
Well, the master of Moovodoo. Dang, that is the master of Moovodoo. Okay, so we used to do this video series called Do Not Laugh, and God, okay. When I tell you, okay, so people are gonna be mad about the Orbitzz, okay? But I'm gonna just give you the tea. We hated doing every single episode of Do Not Laugh, okay? Every episode of Do Not Laugh, hated. And so, because like we were like, I don't even know, there was like 1,000+ episodes, I think. And so, like, imagine having to come up with a new joke on the spot every time. So anyway, I go in. And my shtick with the jokes was we just use skins. And so like I can play off skins and kind of make jokes. I made a lot of characters with the skins, right? And some of them were decent, some of them were hit or miss. So I put on this gosh darn cow outfit, give him like a beard or something, and just come out. I'm like, "I'm Moovodoo," and I was just like, and I don't know, everyone lost it, and it became like a recurring character. And that was kind of like how a lot of my characters became, because like I'll be honest, some of those were like, I'll be honest, like some of my best jokes were completely on the spot, half-assed, and like I had a character that is like I'm working on something behind the scenes and he's still involved in it, but like it was just an apple Orbitzz. He said apple. I mean, he didn't say no other freaking word, just apple.
Interesting
And people love that. People ate that stuff up, and so I literally would have kids walk up to me at conventions and they would be like, "Apple, apple, apple." And their parents would then walk up to me and they're like, "Do you understand that my kid walks around the house screaming apple, 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 apple every day?" And I'm just looking at this mom and I'm like, "So sorry." But yeah, that's the story of Moovodoo. It was like more of like an improv joke that I pulled out from the deep dark crevice of my mind. So
wait till I hear about Hordor.
Oh yeah, really.
What about America's Man?
Oh, okay. So America Man was my GTA persona. He was this dude with the red hair, but I'll be honest, like the red hair in GTA blows. And so, but you know what doesn't blow? The gosh darn American Eagle, or the bald eagle mask. And so I threw it on. I gave him the Uncle Sam like American flag jacket, and his name was America Man. And that was it. There was really nothing past that, and he was my character in GTA, and I would just run around with this bald eagle and do stunts.
Fair enough. Yeah. With that, then, unless I've missed a topic completely, have anything else to ask? You have anything else you wanted to talk about that you thought I was going to bring up?
Well, shoot. I mean, I think it's I think we covered everything. We covered the old stuff. We covered the show, the new stuff. I mean, I guess like what I'm up to now is really it. But that's it. I mean, if you want to dig in there, otherwise I'm good.
I mean, we've kind of touched on it, right, with the content. And is there something else that we haven't mentioned as to what you're up to now?
No, I don't think there is. I think that's really it. So I think we're good. I mean, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Normally it's just like, yeah, okay.
I mean, I wish I'm thinking like we got everything. I mean,
because the voice seems so jokey, as if there's something I've genuinely forgotten I should have remembered. But like I feel like we've covered everything.
Oh, I mean, I guess I voice acted in One Piece once. Like, do you want to talk about that? I don't know. There it is.
See, I don't watch anime, so never have.
Me neither. So that's what makes it even funnier. I was in the room and they were like, "You want to do it?" And they pulled me in, and I got to be in One Piece. I was supposed to be in another show. I was supposed to be in My Hero Academia. I was kind of bummed, and I showed up, and my friend was like, "You want to be in One Piece instead?" And so yeah, I've got the DVD in my drawer next to me, and I like to go to the credits sometimes to look at myself, but that's cool.
Very humble,
but yeah, I don't do it a lot, okay? Or I do it like maybe once every couple of years, okay? Yeah. But that was cool, and then I've I've been in a couple other animes and stuff like that, but I don't really watch that much anime. I watch like the mainstream stuff that everybody watches. But yeah, that's really it. I don't think we missed much else. I guess like all I want to say while I'm here is like I kind of just miss everybody like in the content base, like stuff being on the other side, and I feel like sometimes the world just keeps on going by, but I just kind of miss everybody. So that's really it.
There we go. Yeah, the wiki needs to update that and add the fact that you voice acted for One Piece on there.
Yeah, you know,
didn't have that.
I don't know who's in charge of the wiki, but yeah, they got to update that stuff quick.
I gotta catch up. I think they listen to the podcast, actually, funny enough. So if you are listening, do it. Change it now.
Let's get it.
We do have some Twitter questions, though, so you get to hear my voice a little bit longer. Lucky you.
Ooh, okay.
So the first one then comes from K Young Creations. What would you say is what would you say is the most enjoyable part of being a talent producer? I think we didn't cover that when we talked about it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great question to be honest. I think it's honestly just like getting to meet all the folks that make big content happen, if that makes sense. Like it's a truly whole different me. It's like I've got an email from Adam Sandler's agent saying, hey, he doesn't do these kinds of projects, and I'm like, okay, that's fair. But like I think that's really it. Like I really get to talk to people that I'm like every day. I'm like I meet someone new that I'm like so surprised that I get to meet you, and then I get to be on calls with like clients that are like dream clients. Like we got to work with one of my biggest clients this year, one of my dream clients this year. I'm not gonna say their name because we didn't get the project, but like even being able to get to attempt to get that project was incredible. And then like I don't know, winning awards as well, I guess. But like I've got a streamy. It's like a big whale tail in my living room. And we won an award for the campaign we did with Cypher PK and Typical Gamer. That was pretty cool. We had like full on production in the studio in Los Angeles, and like we had to fly Cypher and Typical Gamer out. And it was my job. And then I mean, also a cool one was we did a big vending machine activation with Carl Jacobs and Sapnap, and I put them in the giant toy like capsule machine, and like they were in there for like 4 hours or whatever, and then like as donations went on, like capsules people won prizes and stuff like that, and I got to hold like Pokemon cards that were worth like over $100,000. And I was like, I love Pokemon, so getting to hold that many Pokemon that like that much Pokemon cards was pretty incredible. So that's a little bit longer answer, but yeah, I think that's the cool stuff. It's just like the small things along the way that I guess doesn't really come with being a talent producer. Is the cool stuff. So not the contracts. Yuck.
not the money, not anything. Just to be fair, like I've said this before, I'd kind of take being invited to something or a cool opportunity over earning like 50 quid any day. I don't know. Yeah, I want to be invited to like parties and stuff. Not like parties isn't. I'm not really a party kind of guy, but I mean like these cool opportunities I see people going to. I'm like, I want that. I don't want to take it away from them, but I want it also. Yeah,
no, I feel that. That's why I try and get out and try and network with folks all the time. That's how I mean that's how I got where I'm at, right? Is networking. So I guess that's what's important. So
the next one then comes from Ray. Do you still talk to any of the Crafting Dead members? If so, how are they doing? And most importantly, how are you doing?
Well, we'll start with the last question. I'm doing great. SGC Barbarian, mentioned him earlier in the podcast. He was my best man at my wedding. We talk all the time. We play Call of Duty every day. So he's doing great. Keep an eye out for updates from him. I've heard from a couple of the other folks. I heard from one of the guys in the group. His name was Ghetto. I haven't actually talked to him, but SGC Barbarian says he's doing great. We've heard from Shark. Shark's doing well. AK is doing well. They're all doing well. So across the board, I mean, I don't like necessarily talk to the rest of the group past SGC Barbarian, but from what I've heard, everyone's doing well. So,
and then the final one comes from Heidi Leo. It's just at Diamond Cry 7. That makes it a little bit easier. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong there, Census. What was your favorite fan interaction? And they also added, thanks for bringing me up with your videos, by the way.
Oh yeah. Shoot. Well, I've got a ton. So I know we're getting to the end here, but so I'll share a few. But
there's no rush. Feel free to talk.
Okay, cool. So I think the coolest one, not to like pick favorites, was I don't even think it was a specific person, but I think when we went to Insomnia in the UK, we went to Birmingham, and it was the wildest experience because like we broke the line at Insomnia, and like security came over and they're like, you guys have made such a big line that we need you guys to go to the back room so that we can keep the line flowing and all that fun stuff. And like I had at that that point, I had done multiple conventions in the States, and like we had lines for signatures and all that fun stuff, which was cool. But going to the UK was the first time where, and it was the funniest thing. It wasn't even the full group. It was just me and one of my friends, and so it was just like us two. So like there's like 5 of us at that time, and we got to the UK and we just broke the line. And everybody in the UK was so nice. Insomnia was great, and it was just great to meet people. I think at Arcadia Con though, I got to sign an eggplant. That was interesting. This kid was walking around. He got everyone's signatures with a silver Sharpie on an eggplant. I wish I remembered his name, but I don't. I'll never forget that. Like I don't know who goes to a convention with an eggplant, but this kid did. And then there's just been a lot of like stuff recently. Like I moved. Like I'm originally from California. I lived in Washington when I was like at the peak of my YouTube career, and then now I live in Texas. And if you're familiar with like U.S. geography, like that's a long distance from all 3 of those locations. And so I've recently moved down here, and it's crazy. Like I don't. You've seen I haven't uploaded in like 7+ years, and then further back than that, I have at peak YouTube was maybe further than that. I guess 7 years, right? Because that one video. But I walked into the grocery store to go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist recognized me. She was like, "Are you RedVacktor?" And I was like, "Holy smokes, yes, I am." I go to the grocery store, I get recognized. I go to my burger joint, I get recognized. I just think it's funny because to me, I feel washed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a washed up creator, but these people still somehow recognize me in like the most obscure small town here in Texas. Like I live in the outskirts of a big city, but still run into people everywhere I go. And those interactions are really cool because I don't know, kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm not as washed as I think I am. Does that make sense? Like it's cool to still get called out. Like I ran into somebody as recently as like a week and a half ago. And that kind of, I don't know, that makes my day every time when people come up, because I'm like, dang. And it also makes my day when it happens in front of my wife, because my wife's like, she never believes me, and then it happens and she's like, what is going on? But I hope that answers your question. But it's really cool. Like I would say like I've enjoyed them all.
It's nice knowing that you're still like even that's why I made sure to read out the ones that said like thanks for bringing me up and hope you're okay. Like I'm not gonna say InsideMC is like the biggest thing in the world, because I think it's an amazing podcast, but it's not exactly global or worldwide. But even just the fact of like you coming on the podcast, so I still wanted you on, so I guess that helps a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, no, when you reached back out, I was like, oh, I'm still got it. I still got it.
I'm still in the game.
I'm still inside.
I know. I just thought it'd be cool to bring you on, especially just to talk about where you're at and why you did it and all this kind of stuff. And it's been an amazing podcast, so thank you.
Yeah, no, you've been a great host. For our first time meeting, I feel like this has been a pretty great combo through and through. So.
I like to do that. I always try and give a good first impression. So when I jump into a call, I do my classic hello, and I feel like it sets the vibes right. Sort of, oh, this guy's gonna be very chatty, and this is gonna be a good podcast, hopefully. So we go from there.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was a great level setting. So A+.
Did you know, one last thing here, that Insomnia has sadly shut down?
I had heard that it was like on its way out, like towards the end, but I'm really sad because that was the greatest convention I've ever been to. We even got in trouble at it because we had too much to drink at the drinking public trivia. But it was fun. It was a good time, and I'm sad to hear it go. I miss the geese. Like they would tag people walking by and get to the convention center. That was fun.
When was the last time you went? When was the last time you went to Insomnia?
Oh, well, I would have to even like look it up. Let's see, Insomnia. I think it was like 2016. It was like 50.
Okay.
Here it is. Insomnia 58, 2016.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I went in 2019, I think it was, with my brother. He took me as a birthday present, which was really nice. Our parents drove us down to Birmingham and they went to see family. That was a really, really good Insomnia. I went earlier this year, and I went with a friend, AJX, who's actually the co-host, but couldn't make it today because it's the weekend. And he said that and I went to that convention store and I said, this is like really underwhelming, like it's really bad. And he said, yeah, like apparently for the last few years it's just gone really, really bad. Your memories of it, I'm glad you haven't been recently, because your memories of it are so good, which is really, really nice. Whereas my memories of it is like I went, I'm like, damn, like I got bored after like 2 hours. I'm like, what do I do I do here? The thing is, sorry, I like networking, but it's so awkward walking up to a booth and be like, hi, you know, like a Logitech booth or whatever, like, hi, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I feel like I need to grow inside MC a little bit more to at least, I think once I get to 10K, maybe I can be a little bit more confident in my networking. But right now, I don't feel like fully in it, I guess. So, get them kind of conventions, but like, oh, okay.
I mean, hey, I think you're doing a great job already. Like, I mean, look at all the folks you've, had on your podcast. Like, that's networking alone, right? Yeah, I would say maybe you're doing a better job at it right now than I am. So, keep it up because it's pretty cool to see. I mean, like, I mean, not to expose this, but we weren't even following each other until recently. But like, I had seen you through the grapevine, and like, that's a good way of networking, right? And so, like, you don't always need to be at a location to do it. So you're doing a good job.
That's fair. Yeah, thank you. What I tend to do is I don't follow anyone back on InsideMC until they've come on the podcast. Once they get announced, they get a follow. It's just a cool little trend, and if I follow anyone earlier, then it'll expose that they plan to come on. So there's that. Yeah. And secondly, I also sometimes just forget to follow people on my main. So as soon as you're announced on InsideMC, I'm like, oh crap, I should follow you through Insane Orbitzz as well, and that's where that comes from.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. That's actually pretty cool. And I'm the worst at Twitter, so don't even worry about it. But yeah, no, it's been a while since I've been to Insomnia. I miss Birmingham. That was a crazy trip. We went to. I'll just sneak a story in here real quick. We went to go see Birmingham's football team or soccer team, right? And it was so funny. Sorry, yeah, he literally rolled to the window, and the lady goes, "I'm sorry that you came to watch our team," and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And then they won, and then all I remember was that the Birmingham folks didn't cheer for them, even though they won. I guess because they got regulated right the year before. So like, dang, but that was a wild experience, and I'll never forget that. So, but yeah, no, was there any other questions? I didn't want to skip any. So.
No, that was it. That was. I don't tend to ask them all if there is loads of questions, but that's the questions I want to ask. So yeah.
This has been great, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say that. With that being said, it sadly brings the end of the podcast. Wow. Any big announcements you want to say before we end?
No, dude, I don't think I have anything big up my sleeve at the moment. We were working on a comic book with like the Vactors to bring the Vactors back. That's currently in hiatus, but hopefully some news coming on that soon. So we'll see. But this has been great, Orbitzz. You've been awesome, and let's stay in touch, okay?
Yes, please, thank you. Before I do the outro here though, and I'm not sure if it's going to be too relevant in your case, but I'm going to give the opportunity anyways. I always like to give the outro for you to promote yourself. In this sense, obviously a lot of people are still making content, so it's perfect for them to let people know where to find them. But feel free if you want to do anything, if you even if like a bigger creator is listening to this and you want to promote something, feel free. Floor's yours.
I would just shout out VackTor because he's actually uploading. So I think that's a safe choice. And he like Pokemon videos. That's all he does. He does like shiny hunting. And I'm real proud of him because he's doing it on his own and he's committed to it and it's working. I think he's already at like 40K subscribers and he just started like this last year.
Amazing job.
Yeah, that's my shout out. Go check VackTor out. So, or else I don't know what else is going to be.
With that being said, then that sadly brings the end of this week's midweek MC. I realized in the intro I called it Inside MC. It's not. This is midweek. Same thing, just a different name because it has the co-host normally. But thank you all for listening. This has been midweek MC. Stay safe. Only too much bread. Pieces.
I'm gonna eat a lot of bread.
No, you're not.